There seems to be a general agreement that there is a problem in central Kenya, and not just a problem, but an extremely big problem. And not that this problem doesn't seem to affect both gender, that is male and female. This big problem you're talking about seems to have affected directly the male gender, the men. And even going deeper, this problem seems to be concentrated around a certain age group, the people we are calling the young men. That's what the news outlets, both electronic, print, and written, are reporting day in, day out, during the day and at night. That's what the politicians are telling us, both men and women, elected and nominated. That's what the leaders are telling us, not just the political leaders, but community leaders, religious leaders, and other impromptu leaders. Leaders who simply emerge from anywhere and they take control of situations before they go out of hand, of course in the wrong direction. This is what I'm inviting you in this video, that we reflect briefly and really ask ourselves, is this really a big problem as it seems to be? And if yes, what role can we play today in ensuring that we make it better? What avenue, what solutions exist within our disposal, within our means, with what we have right now, and from where we are? Can we do something? Have we resigned ourselves to fate? These are some of the pertinent questions that I would like us to reflect upon. Partly because I also happen to be from this region. And then when I see people parroting here and there from just one direction, I feel strong desire also to add my voice. And in this way, invite you also to journey with me. In the current status, there seems to be a group of people who have also emerged. And most of these are young women, middle-aged women, and even old ones, who are doing an incredible job. They have stepped to fill in a certain gap that has been left by some people. Today, it's the women who are championing the cause, the rights of the young man from the mountain. And the question we'd like to ask ourselves is this: where are the men? And if our dear men, my fellow men, are doing something, then why is it that we are not hearing them as much, being so vocal compared to the women? Yet the problems are affecting fellow men. Why? Something else we'd also like to ask ourselves. These champions of the boy child rights and freedoms, where I have simply outlined that majority of them are women. They are talking of empowerment. Empowerment. Empowerment of the young man from the mountain. And the question we would like to ask ourselves today is this: to what extent can any well-meaning, because they mean well, these women, to what extent can they go in empowering this man? Yes, they themselves are not men, but they want to empower men. Do they face some limitations on the extent to which they can do the empowerment? If you consult this book, or other similar books such as this one, and try to understand the meaning of the word empowerment, you'll discover that to empower someone is to give them more control of their lives. And that definitions also creates more questions. So does it mean that the woman is so much empowered to an extent that she is feeling to be a threat to her own existence today? Does the woman feel that she has overstepped into some territories that perhaps she knows not how to navigate? Because initially they were not meant for her. And when we are talking of giving back control to this man, does it mean that there is somebody somewhere who has chained, who has arrested the mind of this young man from the mountain to an extent that he is feeling incomplete, incapable? He is feeling worthless. He is feeling as if he is chained. Does that mean that there's someone somewhere who is holding that key? And the woman from the mountain is coming to say, enough is enough for our sons, for our fathers, for our brothers, for our friends. We want to liberate you. Now, another question arises. Remember, the championing of the boy child rights and freedoms, especially from the mountain, started just recently when people discovered, it seems that we have concentrated, we have put too much effort, too much emphasis on what a girl should do. In fact, we are saying that what a man can do, a woman can do better. That is something that we are peddling here and there. Is it true, really? Have we drunk in the poisonous cup of cliches and some dangerous phrases that has ended up making the man feel left out? And now the woman is coming as a liberator. We may need to ask ourselves all these questions. Unfortunately, we are asking ourselves, where are those other men from the region who are willing to take up this problem head on and address it once and for all? Because if we let this war be fought purely from a feminine point of view, are we very confident that we are going to get desirable results after a certain duration of time? And now, this now brings me to something else. What does this man from the mountain need? What does he want? Is he suffering from simply a problem of money? Now, to answer that question, we ask ourselves more questions. Some of them have started, they have been married to alcoholism, yet they have a lot of money. So is it really a problem of money? A problem of family setups? Well, these are some of the questions we ask. But now, since we are also not talking about the solution here, we are just simply asking ourselves questions and asking them loudly. What are some other efforts that have been brought forward by men to help fellow men, mostly from the cultural perspective? Yes, we have men there. But what are they putting a lot of emphasis? They are emphasizing mostly on the initiation, the circumcision, the marriage, the dowry, and the superiority of man. And when you look at all these things, you see that the institution of family is threatened because the manner in which some of these things are done leaves a lot to be desired. And to add it all, as still part of the solution, TPOOPA, the power of one plus action, we come and tell our fellow young men from the mountain, you can also redeem yourself. You only need to take an action. You just need to make a plan, a decision, and say that this is what I'm going to do. And of course, you implement it. Yes, that's what you're supposed to do. When it comes to reading about where you have come from, do you just go out and listen to just anybody simply because they are calling themselves elders? They take you to the caves. They give you some secrets in quotes. Some of these messages are to be questioned. Can't you also search for the truth from the documented places, books, and stuff like that? Think of a book such as this one. The Ageko, their custom traditions of folklore. Can't you just simply be able to read a night? To buy the book, to read it on your own? Must you depend on somebody else whom you do not know how credible they are, simply because they can be able to give and deliver speeches in pure cultural language with proverbs and idioms? And perhaps they have put on attire that connotes that they are serious cultural men. Think of a book such as this one, Meikarire, Ya Agekoyo. Can't you be able to read it on your own? And other books. So to add it all, this is a challenge to fellow men and young men from the mountain. Our problems may be identified by an outsider, but when it comes to solving them once and for all, this is going to require an insider decision, a serious one. And this is where you and me come in. Our dear women will come and tell us that they want to empower the boys shall fine. Other people from other parts of the country, from other parts of the globe will come and say that they want to empower you. Fine. They will say that you need a trade, you need a course, You need to go and do TVET. Fine. But the final decision lies with you. And if we can be able to support one another, that is the best way. And above all, let's not lose our brothers. Let's not mislead them, especially on cultural messages and cultural messaging, some of which is extremely misleading. Go out and do some research before you even decide to implement what you get out there. This is Samuel Orago, the founder and trainer from TPOOPA. Do have a nice time.